Hello students, good morning. Now after a long interval of time we are meeting again and we are trying to discuss some important chapters of the class 12th that is very important for the board examination, and the board examination is very near to we people, and we will try to discuss those topics so that you feel comfortable while facing the examination. So today our topic of discussion is your alternating current. Current, you already know, is of two types. One is direct current, one is alternating current. Direct current you have read. You know that Thomas Alva Edison, who is the discoverer of bulb, used his DC generator, and in fact DC, he was a very big businessman also, who constructed so many plants for DC current supply and to the people. So it was a revolution at that time when DC was discovered and the bulb was given by Thomas Alva Edison, and he was in a position to encash it by providing the social service. So DC was that time, but very soon the weaknesses of DC was clear to people, and it was the Tesla, our scientist, the great genius man, who after his AC generator made all the machines work on the AC alternating current, and this current was more useful. Only thing is that it is more dangerous, and that was the matter which was being exploited by the Thomas Alva Edison to defame the AC. But due to wide use, less cost and wide range of distribution, simplicity in the distribution, made the AC popular, and today the world is of AC and we are using AC. Maximum places we are using AC. So this is our chapter, that is the alternating current. So if we talk about the current, try to understand what is AC current. Here is a current. Here I, here T. This is a current. The current is not changing, time is continuously changing, but the current is constant, and this current is your DC, direct current. And the supply for direct current is our normal source. So this is your DC supply. DC supply. That you are familiar. Now, if we take this as the current, suppose this I am taking as the current, this is also DC. Though this current is changing its magnitude, it is increasing, decreasing, but it is not changing its polarity. That means it is never becoming negative. So it is also your DC. If I take another example, you can understand very well that this is again your DC, as it is not changing its polarity. But if a current is changing its polarity, that means for some time it becomes positive and for some time it becomes negative. After a regular interval of time, then we call it as AC. For example, if I take this is representing your AC. See, here time is and here I is there. So variation of current with time is given. But this portion, upper portion, represents positive, this portion represents negative, this portion represents positive, this portion represents negative. There is a maximum value, there is a maximum negative value. So this is your AC. Similarly, if we talk about a square wave, this also tells about the AC. This is also your AC. This is also AC. This is your DC, and this is also AC. Here the I is the current, here time is the. Similarly, we can take another example also. That example we can take in this way. So this is also positive, negative, and here is the current, here is the time. So this is also again your AC. But the most popular AC that we are using in our day-to-day life, in our home, that is your sinusoidal AC. See, this AC, which is changing its magnitude and direction periodically, this AC is the most popular AC we are using. So AC, you know, has many advantages, as it can be transmitted for long distances without sufficient loss of energy, very less amount of, it is cheap also, it is convenient also, but it is more dangerous. Your mobile charger, that uses your DC, and there is a device that is being used in that, and that is a rectifier, you already know, which converts AC into DC. So these are the main things, and we will concentrate our discussion on this alternating current only, current or voltage. We can take current or voltage, and in that current or voltage, there is also, you should keep in mind, we will restrict ourselves to the sine wave. Sine wave AC. Sine wave AC means that wave which has a sinusoidal curve. So this sine wave AC we will be discussing in detail, which is the part of our syllabus, and it will be helpful to you in examination, and you will be feeling highly comfortable after the discussion of this session. AC continuously changes its direction. It means for certain time it will go in this direction, take a maximum value, then again come back and take to the negative value. In this way it is continuously changing AC. Now the general representation of AC, in order to understand it, we will have to connect it with the electromagnetic induction. It is basically the part of electromagnetic induction phenomenon only, in which basically the electromagnetic phenomenon, what we have understood about the magnetic flux. Magnetic flux phi B must be equals to B dot A, where B is the magnetic field and A is the area. So it will give you BA cos omega t. Because why I am writing omega t? Because if I take a coil, and if the coil is rotating in the magnetic field, then its theta changes. And if angular velocity, suppose here is the magnetic field in which there is a coil, suppose in this way, and this coil is rotated by an angular velocity omega, then after a time t, theta will become equal to omega t. So at the place of theta I have written this omega t. Now according to Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction, what we know that the magnetic flux, rate of change of magnetic flux, E, that is induced EMF, is equals to minus d phi by dt. So if we differentiate it, what we will get? We will get B A omega sine omega t. So E is equals to B A omega sine omega t. Here t is variable. this t is variable. So E is changing according to this time t. So here this matter we can say E as the function of t. And these three are constant. If I write E is equals to E naught sine omega t. So this is the basically representing your AC alternating voltage means EMF. It is representing the alternating EMF. And if the ring has the radius, if the ring has the resistance R, then we can get current also. I is equals to E naught by R sine omega t, and this will tell you I is equals to I naught sine omega t. So this is the alternating current. So alternating voltage is represented by E is equals to E naught sine omega t, and alternating current is represented by I is equals to I naught sine omega t. Now here few things you are supposed to understand definitely, that when I write I is equals to I naught sine omega t, then this I is called instantaneous value of current. This is telling you instantaneous value of current. What does it mean? It means that at a particular instant, because it is your this, that is the sine curve. Now you see, the current is the function of time. What does it mean? It means time is changing, the current is continuously changing. So this is your instantaneous value of current. This I naught is being called as the peak value of current. Peak value means maximum value. Peak value means maximum value. This value represents your I naught. This value represents your minus I naught. So I is your instantaneous value of current. I naught is your peak value of current. This omega is the angular frequency, that is the radian per second of this coil. Angular frequency, you might have seen in AC generator that something is rotating. So in that rotating process, what we observe, this tells about the angular frequency, and this is the time. So after a definite fixed interval of time, after a time period, it changes its polarity. Omega is equals to 2 pi by T, or this is your 2 pi F, where F tells about the frequency. So two values of AC we have learned. One is the instantaneous value and one is the peak value. Now the question arises, the quality of AC that AC we are using is 220 volt 50 Hertz. What does this mean? What AC we are using in our house, that AC has this RMS value. This is root mean square value. This is a single value that represents in one time period the value of AC. If I want to represent a single value, that is the RMS value, and this tells about the frequency of AC that we are using. So RMS value, that have to understood RMS. And then if we talk about the AC, which is very common, you can understand in this way that this is plus, this is minus. So in one time period, here is the I, here is the T. In one time period, the average value is 0. Because this is positive, this is negative, so ultimately it is 0. So we define the average value. So one is RMS value one is average value. Average value. Average value is basically defined in the time interval 0 to t by 2. Here t, so here it is t by 2. 0 to t by 2 is the time, or t by 2 to t is the time in which we define the average value. And its value will come, I will prove it, 2 I naught by pi. 2 I naught by pi gives the average value, and RMS value will be I naught by root 2. How it will come, that will also we will discuss. But any device that measures the AC, the DC measuring device, you already know, galvanometer is there, ammeter is there, DC ammeter is there, DC voltmeter is there, but the AC measuring device is not same as the DC measuring device. So AC measuring device is called hot wire instrument. Hot wire instrument. And it is based on heating effect of current. So if I take the instrument, hot wire instrument, and we measure the value of current or voltage, if it is giving the value of 10 ampere, that means it is giving you the 10 ampere. What is this? This is not instantaneous value. This is not average value. This is not peak value. This is your RMS value. So any instrument that gives the hot wire instrument, that is AC measuring device, gives the RMS value. If I say that the measuring device gives 220 volt, that means this is your RMS value. So RMS value is being measured by the instrument. Now we will try to understand the RMS value and the average value. So first of all, we will try to understand what is the average value of AC. If suppose I am taking a device, a ammeter I am taking. This is hot wire instrument, and here I have given the supply 220 volt. And here is a resistor. This resistor is suppose 2 ohm. If this resistor is 2 ohm, 220 volt, what is this? This is RMS value. And supply is your 220 volt. RMS value is this. And if I suppose give 220 root 2 sine 100 pi t. Suppose this is the voltage. So this is the voltage that what this ammeter will read. Its root mean square value is 220 volt. So root mean current will what? Root mean current will be I is equals to V by R. Root mean square voltage, root mean V by R, that means V is 220 root 2 by 2, that is 110 root 2, 110 root 2. So I you will be getting I RMS, I you will be getting peak value, because this is your peak value, this is V naught, peak value, this is V naught. So I naught you will be getting 110 root 2. And if I divide it for RMS, then this is your I naught by root 2, that is 110 ampere. This is ampere, peak value. So 110 ampere, what does it mean? This hot wire instrument will give you 110 ampere current. 110 ampere current. And what is this value? This is your RMS value. RMS value. So anywhere if something is given in the question or anywhere the value of current is defined, then you can take that value. Otherwise, you will have to consider the RMS value. It is only the RMS value that is most important for our understanding. Now we will have to prove that I average, if I is equals to I naught sine omega t. Suppose this is your AC. If this is your AC, I am talking about average value, that is for this part only. This part is only average. So average is was total charge by total time. Average is that only. So if I want to find the average value, then I average is written in symbol I in this form. In this bracket, this is your I average. And this I average is total charge flown by total time. Total charge flown is I dt, and by dt, this is your total time, and we are considering the time interval 0 to t by 2. So 0 to t by 2, 0 to t by 2. This is the definition of I average. So if I take it, we can get in this form I naught sine omega t dt, 0 to t by 2, and this becomes t by 2. Integration dt is your t by 2. So if I take it, I naught integration sine omega t dt, 0 to t by 2, and then 2 in upside t here, t by 2. Sine omega t integration is what? Sine omega t integration is cos minus cos omega t. So this will give you 2 I naught by t into minus cos omega t, and then 0 to t by 2 by omega. Integration matter, this is the mathematical concept that you should clarify, and you should get command over this simple integration of and differentiation process. So this is giving you 2 I naught by omega t, and taking minus cos omega t by 2 minus cos 0. Now try to understand. Omega is your 2 pi by t. So omega t is your 2 pi. So omega t is your 2 pi, that means pi. That means pi means minus 1. So this is 2 pi. So what will result we are getting? We are getting I average minus 2 I naught, that is 2 pi. Omega t is 2 pi, and here we are getting minus 2. Why? This is minus 1. Omega t 2 pi, cos pi minus 1, and minus 1, minus 2. So 2 will cancel, and minus will plus, and 2 I naught by pi. This gives you the average value of current. And this derivation is also very important for your board examination, because they will tell you to find the value of average value of current. And mind it, the average value for AC is defined in the time period 0 to t by 2. Because in complete cycle, the value of average value will be 0. And this you can prove mathematically also. If you take the interval 0 to t, then the result will be coming as 0. That you can verify. This I am giving you as the homework. You will check that whether this matter is clear or not. Now we will try to understand the RMS value. RMS. RMS value means root mean square. Root mean square value, first we will have to square, then we will have to take the mean, and then we will have to take the root. This is the root mean square value, which is a refined average representing AC. So if I want to tell you about the root mean square value, then RMS, according to its definition, I square, first square, then take the mean, that is average, then take the root. This represents your I average value. So in find the I RMS value. So how can we calculate it? I is your where I is your I naught sine omega t. That is I is the function of time. So how can we calculate? First we will do the square. So it is your, if I want to find the square, then it is your I naught square sine square omega t. If we want the average, I square average will become I square sine square omega t dt integration 0 to t by integration 0 to t and 0 to t dt. See, RMS value, if you calculate for 0 to time interval t or 0 to time interval t by 2, it will come same. RMS value will remain same. So this will give you I square, this is I naught square sine square omega t dt 0 to t by 0 to t is t. Now we will have to understand the value of sine square omega t. So sine square omega t integration, very comfortable formula you know, sine square omega t is equals to 1 minus cos 2 omega t by 2. This you can know from the knowledge of your mathematics. So if I use this formula, I square average will become I naught square by t, 2 I am taking as common, 2 1 minus cos 2 omega t integration 0 to t dt. How it is giving you? It is giving you, after simple simplification, 2t. dt is your t and integration 0 to t cos 2 omega t dt. What will be cos 2 omega t dt? So this is, I am putting in bracket. So I naught square by 2t t minus sine 2 omega t by 2 omega 0 to t. And finally, what you can understand, this omega t at the place of t, when you will write omega t, it will be 2 pi 4 pi 0 0. So this term will become 0. So what you are getting? You are getting I naught square by 2, because this t will cancel. So final our result is I square in average is your I naught square by 2. Now what is the next step? Next step, we have to take root. So IRMS is equals to I naught the square by 2 under root, that is I naught by root 2. IRMS is coming I naught by root 2. From here only you can see that RMS value is I naught by root 2. Therefore, if we talk about 220 volt AC and 220 volt DC, then 220 volt AC is more dangerous than 220 volt DC, because the peak value of AC will go root 2 times RMS value, and that will be coming around 311 volt. So 220 volt AC has the peak value V0 311 volt. How it has come? It has come 220 root 2. So we can conclude that AC is more dangerous than DC. AC has many advantages. Its value can be increased, decreased by the help of transformer. A step-up transformer is there, a step-down transformer is there, by which we increase or decrease the voltage. It has low cost production also, but certainly it is very dangerous, because its peak value becomes 220 volt, becomes 311 volt for a certain period of time. Now the question arises, if we talk about the AC, the bulb is continuously glowing and switching off, because you see here, if I take AC, in one time period it 2 times becomes 0. 2 times it becomes 0. That is, 2 times becomes maximum value and 2 times becomes 0. But we are not able to grasp it, because our persistence of vision is of not that nature. It is 1 by 10 second only, and 50 cycle AC means time period is how much? Time period is 1 by 50, that is 0.02 second. That is, so time period is 1 by 50, 1 by 50 means 0.02 second. So we are not able to perceive it that the bulb is continuously glowing or switching on and off. This tells about the average value of AC. So what you are supposed to know that what is AC, how AC is more dangerous than DC. Second, what are the benefits of AC over DC? DC cannot be transmitted for a long distance because there is too much energy loss in DC. Whereas in AC, the energy loss is minimum. Next thing is that what is the average value of AC? Next thing is that what is the RMS value of AC? What is its derivation? That also you should understand. How the AC measuring device and DC measuring device are different. AC measuring device gives you the RMS value of current and voltage. These are the things that you should understand very comfortably to face the examination with confidence. Now, let us try to understand few things, few questions based on this RMS value. If I write I is equals to suppose this is the equation. I is equals to 10 root 2 sine 100 pi t plus pi by 6. In this situation, you should understand that this value represents the peak value. This is representing peak value, I naught. So what will be the RMS value? I RMS. So this is the RMS value. So if you will measure this AC by a AC measuring device, you will get this as the reading. AC measuring device will give you this as the reading. Second thing, what is the frequency? Frequency you can understand, 50 Hertz is the frequency. This is the 50 Hertz frequency. Now one more question can be asked, that is, after how much time the RMS value will become peak value? After how much time? In what? That means my question is, T is equals to how much? So that I is your 10 ampere. That means RMS. After how much time the current will become RMS value? So in this situation, 10 is equals to 10 root 2 sine 100 pi t plus pi by 6. This time you have to calculate. So 10 will cancel. 1 by root 2 is equals to sine 100 pi t plus pi by 6. This is giving you sine pi by 4, that is sine 100 pi t plus pi by 6. So pi by 4 is equals to 100 pi t plus pi by 6. So 100 pi t is equals to pi by 4 minus pi by 6. This is giving you pi by 12. So pi will cancel and t is equals to 1 by 1200 second. So after 1 by 1200 second, the current will become 10 ampere. You all should understand, for quick recovery, one main thing I would like to tell you. Here this quantity is representing initial phase. And this complete is representing phase. Now you see, phase depends upon time, but initial phase does not depend upon time. Phase depends upon time, but initial phase does not depend upon time. I is equals to I naught sine omega t. I is equals to I naught cos omega t. I is equals to minus I naught sine omega t. I is equals to minus I naught cos omega t. All represent AC. And this matter we explain using the phasor diagram. That means if I will take this as the vector, rotating vector, then this represents your I naught value, will represent your, this is number 1. This I naught value will represent I naught sine omega t. Cos omega t will represent here. Minus sine omega t will represent here. And minus cos omega t will represent here. Suppose I am writing I is equals to 3 sine omega t. So here is the peak value. I am taking the 3 value. This value I naught is equals to 3 ampere, and this will be representing your I naught is equals to 3 sine omega t. Similarly, if I write I is equals to I naught 3 sine omega t plus pi by 6. If I am writing this value, this length will remain same. It will shift in this direction. This value will be pi by 6. This is representing peak value. Plus pi by 6 minus pi by 6 will be in this direction. Similarly, cos plus pi by 6 in this direction, minus pi by 6 in this direction. So this basically rotating vector in terms of phasor it is representing. Now what I mean to say to you people, that in this situation, this is also helpful to explain. Suppose here is the current 3 cos omega t, and here is the current 4 sin omega t, and here you have to find value of I is equals to how much. Suppose this is the question. Example. Okay, this is 3 cos omega t, this is 4 sin omega t, and you have to find the value, that what is the I. Now with the help of phasor you can very easily solve it. How? Let us try to understand. Let us try. In phasor I said 4 will be represented by this sign, I have said, and 3 will be represented by this. I have said in phasor that plus sign will be in this side, plus cos will be in this side. If you will take the resultant, you will be getting this as the resultant magnitude, peak value. So this is 4, this is 3. So in the value this will come 5. And if the value is coming 5, you will have to, that means if this is 3, this is 4, this is 5, this angle is your 37 degree, this angle is your 53 degree, and this is already 90. So naturally 3 in front of this is 37 degree. And if it is 37 degree, what is this I? This is ahead of 4. So I will be I naught. I naught means I naught sine omega t plus 5. And how can we do it? I naught is your how much? 5 sine omega t. And what is phi naught? This is 37 degree plus 37 degree. So this represents your I. That means these two AC, this AC and this AC is giving this AC whose value is this one. This way also we can solve the questions, and question can be framed on this one. Now let us try to understand few questions based on RMS value. So regarding RMS value, few things it is essential for you people to remember the values. What is the average value? Sine, if I am not telling any value, that is time interval 0 to t. Sine omega t average value is 0. Cos omega t average value is 0. In one time interval, in one time period. Sine 2 omega t is again your 0. Cos 2 omega t will again use 0. Sine square omega t will give you half. Cos square omega t will give you half. Now I am giving you the homework. What I am giving you the homework, you will try it at home by checking it in this way. What does this mean? It means sine omega t integration dt 0 to t by integration dt. This is the meaning of average. Similarly, in all the cases you will check these values, because if you remember these values, the process of solving questions will become very easy for you. Now let us see how to apply this situation. Suppose I have a question, I is equals to I1 cos omega t plus I2 sin omega t. And you have to find I RMS. In the time interval, nothing is given, that means 0 to t. So in such situation, the definition will remain same. That means it will be I square, then mean, then root. It is the value. And if you take the phasor, by that also, this will also give the same answer. You will calculate. This is homework. You will calculate. And by phasor also you can get it. How? This is I2. This is I1 cos line. This will give you I1 square plus I2 square. This is representing peak value. So what will be the RMS value? RMS will be what? Peak value by root 2. That is I1 square plus I2 square under root by root 2. That's all. But to feel the question, you have to do in this way also. Definitely do it as the homework, and it will certainly make you understand the question in a better way, and you will feel comfortable. The confidence level will go up if you will get the answer by this method and this method the same. It will be helpful for you in the preparation of examination in better way. So my request is there, certainly try this homework as the homework and attempt it. Put your effort, and if you are unable to solve, then just let me know. We will try to solve it. One more question that I would like to discuss with you, and that question is, suppose I is equals to I1 plus I2 sine omega t, and you have to find I RMS. Here, this is also alternating. This is also alternating. That means alternating current, two alternating currents are joined to get the RMS value. Here, one is the DC component, one is the AC component. How you can find the average? Same method, this method. By this you can apply, you will first do the square, then you will take the average, then you will take the root, and you will be getting the answer. So this also I am leaving you as the homework. I hope that this much amount of introductory lecture on the alternating current will certainly prove to be a good investment for you people, and it will help you in bringing up your confidence to an upper level so that you can face the examination more confidently. So with this, I am ending the lecture first of this alternating current, and we shall be definitely meeting in our second lecture with the same continuation of alternating current with the circuit theory. Thank you. Have a nice day. Wish you best of luck and best